This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a blessed Sunday. And in the news this morning for April 23, 2023, teen among four charged after guns and ammo found in vehicle in St. Catherine. 4 men were charged with possession of prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, dealing in prohibited weapons, and unlawful possession of property following an operation along the Williamsfield Main Road in Riversdale, St. Catherine on April 4. Charged are 30-year-old Michael Harrison, otherwise called Mice, a construction worker of Mount Diablo, Treadways in the parish, 19-year-old Jaime Levy of Penn Avenue, Kingston 11, 29-year-old Janoy Young, a construction worker of Scarlet Road, Spanish Town, St. Catherine, and a 26-year-old O'Neill Russell, otherwise called Nika, a mason of Scarlet Road, also of Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Reports from the Riversdale police are that about 4 p.m., they conducted an operation along the mentioned main road after receiving information. They intercepted a motor vehicle and a search was conducted. During the search, a single-action Browning pistol with a magazine affixed containing 7 9mm rounds was found under the back seat, and 1 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 5 9mm rounds found in the glove compartment. A number of electronic gadgets, including 12 cellular phones and laptops, which the men could not account for, were also seen in the vehicle. The men were taken into custody and subsequently charged after a question and answer session. They are to appear before the St. Catherine Parish Court on April 28. St. Andrew man caught with a stolen vehicle in Kingston charged. A man has been charged with possession of a prohibited weapon and ammunition, as well as 2 counts of shooting with intent, following an incident on Marie Road, Queen Hill, St. Andrew on April 12. Charged is 21-year-old Alwyn Murray of Stock Farm in Stony Hill, St. Andrew. Reports from the Doheny Park Police are that about 5:20 a.m., a team went to a premises in the area, and upon their arrival, they saw a motor vehicle parked along the roadway. Checks were done and they discovered that the vehicle was stolen. Whilst awaiting a tow truck to remove the vehicle, a car drove up with men aboard who opened fire at the police. The police pursued the men, and the vehicle crashed into an embankment along the mentioned main road. Murray was taken from the car and into custody. He was charged after a question and answer session. Vendor charged after allegedly stealing $350,000 from motor car in Kingston. A vendor has been charged with a simple larceny following an incident along Ocean Boulevard, downtown Kingston on Friday. Charged is 45-year-old Craig Talbot of Phase 1 Seaview Gardens housing scheme in the parish. Reports from the Central Police are that about 2 p.m., a man securely locked his motor car and went to conduct business. Upon his return, he saw a man exiting his vehicle and entering a Toyota Corolla motor car, which sped away from the scene. He checked his vehicle and discovered that money which he had withdrawn from a bank earlier was missing. The man contacted the police and the car was intercepted by a team from the St. Andrew South Police Division with Talbot and another man aboard. The vehicle and both men was searched and over $350,000 along with 3 cellular phones were found inside the vehicle. The man later identified Talbot as the man he saw exiting his car earlier. Talbot was arrested and charged for the offenses and is slated to face the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court on April 28. Security guard accused of robbing man of knapsack with cash charged. A security guard has been charged with robbery with aggravation, conspiracy, and the possession of a prohibited weapon following an incident in Manchester on March 7. Charged is 32-year-old Christopher Lynn, otherwise called Red Banks, of Eden Street, New Green in the parish. Reports are that about 1 p.m., Lynn offered to transport a man who is known to him to the bank to complete a transaction. The man completed his transaction and left the establishment with Lynn, who then took him to Winter Road, where they were pounced upon by 2 men who were armed with guns. Lynn and his accomplices proceeded to rob the man of his knapsack with cash, then rode off leaving the man. The man reported the incident to the police and an investigation was launched. On April 5, Lynn was accosted by the police at a restaurant in Mandeville where he was searched and a prohibited weapon was found in his possession. The firearm was seized and he was arrested and taken into custody. He was positively identified by the man he had robbed during an identification parade and was charged for the offenses. Opposition wants a more investigation of farm workers' complaints. Dr. Angela Brown-Burke, opposition spokesperson on labor, is calling for more probing of the working conditions of Jamaican farm workers in Canada. Dr. Brown-Burke told the news that she was not satisfied with the report of the panel commissioned by the Ministry of Labor, which found that the majority of the workers were being treated well. Last year, some seasonal agricultural workers complained about having to work under substandard conditions on Canadian farms. But trade unionist Helen Davis-White, who chaired the mission, reported that from the interviews conducted, most of the workers appeared satisfied with their working conditions. Dr. Brown-Burke contends, however, that clarity is needed on several issues, including specific information on whether the investigation focused on the current working conditions. She said farm workers have insisted that their complaints were not false.
But I saw that there is a report by the Davis-White team that went, and I hear them saying that the conditions that they have found are not slave-like. I think we have to go beyond that. We need greater details in terms of what happened, and we also need to understand whether the conditions that the team is reporting on are the conditions they found, or if indeed they explored the allegations of the farm workers as they were then last year when they made the complaints. Because I know that the Minister of Labour of Ontario has had a report out about many complaints they have received, complaints that have been investigated, and actions that they have taken, which means that not all those complaints could have been unfounded.
Labour Minister Carl Samuda is expected to speak on the farm workers' matter during his contribution to the sectorial debate. Fitz Jackson and the Scotiabank to go to mediation over banking fees dispute. A mediation hearing between opposition Member of Parliament Fitz Jackson and the Bank of Nova Scotia over the application of certain banking fees is set for Wednesday, April 26. Mediation was ordered by the court to determine if the parties to the suit can resolve or settle the dispute before the matter goes to trial. Mr. Jackson filed 4 claims before the court seeking a declaration that the charging of encashment fees is a breach of the Bills of Exchange Act and for the fees collected from him to be refunded, in addition to the interest that would have been foregone.
If we are able to resolve it, or if the matter can be resolved of mediation, then the agreement coming out of the mediation will then terminate the case, and it would not need to go to trial. I'm hopeful that Viennese will recognize the illegality and come to the table and confess of their sin, moral and legal sin, and then the matter will end there. But regrettably, they have dragged out the process because this mediation should have taken place from January, and their council have found ways to cause it not to be happening before Wednesday. But we persevere. When the declaration is made by the court that it's a breach of the law, that has implications for all deposit-taking institutions who would have been charging or is continuing to charge a fee for the encashment of similar checks. It is a public interest case. It goes way beyond me because I'm not the only one that have been charged with illegal fees. Thousands of Jamaicans, making probably millions of encashments over the years, would have been victims. But there's also a further consequential matter that will arise after the successful judgment, and that is restitution. Because, when they would have gotten gains illegally, when people breach the law and steal people's property, that's considered ill-gotten gains, and courts usually ask for that to be returned.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.